going to thank you for joining Alice and me. I believe Julie Troisi is going to jump in. But this webinar is just one in the series, and we hope you've enjoyed the previous versions, which entailed our chapter orientation and navigating our LPGA Amateurs Coastal New Jersey website, as well as the golf course etiquette, pace of play, essential rules that Judy helped us out with, and the handicaps, gin, and competition session. In this one,
and
we
start the recording.
Start recording.
It is.
Upper left-hand corner, Janet, it is recording.
Oh, someone said start the recording. Okay. All set.
So in this session, we are going to look at the women who've harnessed talents, time, and energy to drive us to where we are today, and how you can continue the synergy to keep us moving forward. So we're going to ask that you mute yourself for the presentation. And should you have questions, please use the chat. We'll allow time for questions at the end of the session. And possibly, if that's Julie jumping in, she may be able to address some of them as we move along. So if you give me a moment, I will try to share my screen and we can begin the slideshow as soon as I get to, where is slideshow? Play from start. Okay, so this is the last of our Feb 4 educational series, and in this session, we will explore what is a VIP, who are VIPs, how can you be a vitally involved participant, and why should you be vitally involved?
So, ladies, let's take a minute to think about, why do we play golf? As women, they'll say, oh, you know, that's a guy's sport. That's not the case. Playing golf, let's think for a minute. It will make us appreciate the sport even more. We're going to insert a poll, but not yet. What
I
we're
can't
going to
find
do-
it.
That's okay. That's the next slide, but relax. There's good 5 reasons that women play golf. First of all, it's social reasons. I know, being a young female professional in the years back, how did I grow my business? How did I meet other professional women that had a career or that were smart? I played golf and got to know all of, there you go, Ann, you got it.
I do, I don't see it.
I see
I got
it.
you covered, Ann.
It's up. The
Oh,
poll
okay.
okay, Julie, thank you. Why do you play golf? For the social aspects. And I will tell you, in most cases, every one of our leagues or an event that we may have on the weekends, we all get together after, and you might have a dinner or hors d'oeuvres or a cocktail all together and get to know each other professionally. And I know I have used many of the women in the organization over the years. So the first thing is social aspects. The second is for mental and emotional benefits. How many of us, as we get older, need something to do, need somewhere to go? The mental and emotional benefits that you get from playing golf, because golf is a game where it's not just putting the little ball in the hole, it is learning to strategize, analyze different things. So mental and emotional benefits of golf. The physical benefits. I have somebody that jokes and teases me all the time. Alice, your arms are so strong. You don't have any of the flab underneath at your age, and they're not wiggling. Why? Physical benefits. You walk, you exercise, the swinging, it might tighten some muscles. It keeps us as women, whether you're 20 or whether you're 85 years old, in good physical condition. There's the competitive element. I know as a businesswoman, I was always competitive. Now, maybe if you're not a business person and you're a mom just trying to get out, or you're a marketing person or something else where you're not really competitive, well, maybe it's not the same, but golf is a competitive event. You got to strategize a little. You got to have a little fun challenging one another. So competition and being competitive is important. And go ahead, Ann.
So we've
It's not-
completed the poll because I don't see the
No.
poll on my screen. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Carl.
it's not experimental, experiential. All I want to tell you is that when we look at it, golf does an awful lot for us, getting out there in the fresh air and listening to the birds chirp and getting all of the exercise and things. What I'd like you to do, did all of you see that screen that came up with the poll? Ann's not, but did all the rest of you? Ladies, anybody see the poll? Did you
Yeah, I
take
got
it?
it. I finished it.
Okay, so I see the majority of the women do it for social reasons. A quarter of you do it for mental and emotional benefits, and a quarter of you use it for physical benefits. The competitive, I'm surprised to see that 0 women in our are doing it for competitive reasons. We'll see about that down the road. Any other reasons, ladies, that you have chosen to play golf that we didn't mention here that you could pop up and say? Hello?
Hi, it's Eva. I think it was
Hi,
a
Eva.
combination. Hi, how are you? I mean,
Good,
like, I
thank
think I could have checked almost all of them off, to be honest. I just picked the one that I was, more interested in, but I think every one of them is what I've liked about playing golf.
I agree with you. Every
I
single
agree.
one of them, I would have checked off the same thing. All 5 of them are
Yeah.
a part of golf.
Yeah, we weren't able to check off more than one, but it's definitely diverse, things that I like.
Mhm. Well, I'll tell you a little story that'll make everybody laugh before we jump to the next screen. I have a very good friend, no names given out, used to tease me and say, why do I want to hit that little ball in the hole? That's ridiculous. It's not any fun. It's not any good. And I said, don't be surprised. It has a lot of elements for exercise, for competition, for mental and emotional strategies, for the social life. And she said to me, well, I did it once with a friend, and I pounded the driver into the ground and I broke my hand, so I never played golf again. And I said to her, it's because you never learned to hold the ball and play golf properly. I don't think so. So I got a couple of clubs, brought a driver. We went to a driving range and I showed her the basics on how to stand, how to hold the driver. And I bought a bucket of balls and I showed her the proper position to be in and how to swing and hit the ball. Now, she's a very athletic woman, played all kinds of sports, softball, baseball, all of that. And she used to tell me the power of hitting that ball against a baseball bat was a thrill to her because it went directly out in the field and it felt good when it made the contact. So we're out there in the driving range, and all of a sudden, by listening to my directions, one ball after another was getting sent sky high directly out into the fairway. All of a sudden, I could see this big smile coming across her face, and I could also see, she said it was empowering. It was a wonderful feeling once she learned to do it right. So ladies, golf is a little bit more than playing not to get the little ball in the cup. Anyways, fun for that. Let's go to the next slide, please. I'll close this one. So let's compare the results. And it looks like, as we said, the majority of the women love it for having some fun with golf, exercise, things of that nature. For all these reasons, we look at the inspiration for women to grow golf into a widely accepted sport. Now,
Alice, I'm sorry to interrupt a minute. I have my screen up, but it sounds as though you and I are not aligned, and I'm a little confused right now.
well, I haven't done slide 4. What slide are you on yet?
I thought I was on 4. And I don't know why it all of a sudden stopped sharing.
Well,
Um,
well, we were just talking a little. You're going to jump on the 5 in a minute. Let me just finish this commentary and then I'll give you the motivation to talk to them about. Remember, when you're without involvement of a team of people committed to the progression of the sport of golf for women, in this presentation that Ann's going to talk about right now, she will touch on some of the women whose efforts made major milestones in our history. We will learn a little more about the growth of the sport. And lastly, we will share with you ways that can be a vital part of the picture and the history and the making. So Ann, you should jump to slide 5 now. And
I'm gonna try.
You're good.
Okay.
Where's the full screen now? Couple
You can
things.
usually click Shift F5.
you did perfect the other day, Miss Ann.
There you go.
Well, I was up, but I don't know
Play
what
from
happened
current
to the
slide.
screen.
Nope, you're good. And if you go on the PowerPoint, it says play from current slide right there.
Right
And
there.
that should be good. You are
Sorry.
set. We see your screen. No, thank you. Our own
Um,
Van White.
Yeah, that's one of those great mysteries of this presentation and how these things that went perfectly in the practice round don't when you're doing them live.
Oh, well, you're doing
so-
fine.
One of the things I'd like to say is that, creating new pathways takes vision and a mission, and it's rarely easy and often met with resistance from those in their idle comfort zone, watching from the sidelines and probably wondering out loud why this even needs to be done. And we're going to look at the founders of the LPGA challenged that status quo. And as a result, thousands of women and young girls are the beneficiaries of their tremendous personal sacrifice. Beginning approximately 70 years ago, each of the ensuing decades holds a rich history of women and men contributing time, talents, and efforts to declare a place in society for women's professional golf. After a couple of false starts, the Ladies Professional Golf Association was founded in 1950 by 13 women players, and amongst those were Babe Didrikson-Zaharis, who was a multi-medal Olympian, Patty Berg, Shirley Spork, Louise Suggs, and 9 others. In 1959, another group, the Ladies Professional Teaching and Club Pros, united with the association, and they added research-based education to golf with teaching methods and techniques that are the model for instruction even today.
So from 1959, we jump to the 1960s, and we're about building and sustaining growth. In the 1960s, the LPGA was a strong supporter of civil rights even back then. They refused to play in clubs that segregated players based on race. Thus, the door was open for Athena Gibson, who was a famous tennis player, and she became the first African American to play in the tour in 1963, followed by Renee Powell. Also coming from that era was Mickey Wright, who could often outdrive the men, ladies, and Kathy Whitworth, who also became an all-time professional golf record holder. Also in, then we moved to the 70s, and Colgate-Palmolive stepped in and recognized the growing force of women in golf, and the corporate sponsorship was at a nod, and the LPGA held its rightful place in the sport. Television exposure brought professional women into the home of the average Americans. And with the Dinah Shore's Winning Circle hosting names like Judy Rankin and Amy Alcott and Jan Stevenson, just to mention a few names. We also had Title IX became enacted in 1972, prohibiting discrimination in educational programs, because girls now were going to be allowed to play sports in the school teams. They weren't before. Dominating in the 80s was Nancy Lopez, known as the girl next door. We had Kathy Whitworth, remember her, the woman that could outdrive the guys, retired in the winningest golfer in pro golf history with a record of 88 tour wins. Try that on for size. Gee, I thought I was getting there at 87. Ha ha ha. Other names on American soil were Julie Inkster, Patty Sheehan. We have women from other parts of the world that started to join us. We've got Laura Davies, who still plays, Ianco Atomoko, and if I pronounced your name, darling, I'm sorry. And Lizette Newman, which started claiming fame on the Rolex scene as they did some advertising. And
So the 1990s were a pretty explosive time for golf for women. And the Solheim Cup, which is the women's version of the Curtis Cup, was launched. In 1991, the LPGA Foundation was created, offering scholarships to empower, inspire, and transform the lives of girls and young women. Also in 1991, the Executive Women's Golf Association was created, and its purpose was to promote recreational and amateur women's golf to empower women in business for them and for fun. As well, in 1994, the LPGA USGA Girls Golf introduces young girls to golf to gain confidence, friendship, and life skills. Players from around the world start to join in. In 1994, we see Annika Sorenstam from Sweden. 1996, Kari Webb from Australia. Also in 1996, Saori Park from South Korea.
so ladies, we'll go from 1996. Let's jump into the 2000s. History moves like the blink of an eye, and all of a sudden, Annika earns the title of Miss 59. She was the first LPGA player to achieve that score. She continued breaking records throughout the decade. In 2008, she retired with 72 wins, not too bad. And I have to brag a little. I got to play with Annika Sorenstam one-on-one in a round of golf up north. She was the most incredible player, so sweet, so caring, showed me all kinds of little tips. Not that I remember them all the time, but we had a great time playing golf together. Then we had Lorna Ochoa. He was the first American golfer to be ranked #1 in the world. There were more women that appeared down the road here in the 2000s. We had Morgan Pressel and Paula Kramer. We also had the Sumatra Tour. The qualifier for the LPGA Tour is acquired. 2010, golf goes global. The tour gets energized with a stream of youth, including Lydia Ko, who was 15, Lexi Thompson, who was 16, Brooke Henderson, who was 17, Yanni Sang, Inbee Park, and the sisters. Oh, here we go, Ann. Arya and Moria Jutanugarna, I think is the proper pronunciation. Smile and laugh all you want. Join the tour. And later, other sisters like Nellie and Jessica Corda. Keeping up with the times, online golf communities for women were formed, the Women's Network. 2018, the LPGA acquired the largest women's amateur golf network in the world, which was, and a lot of the oldie but goodies that are in this chapter belong to it, the Executive Women's Golf Association. It became known as the LPGA Amateurs. I know myself and quite a few of you were members of that organization before it became part of the LPGA Amateur. In 2020, a new period of growth came. And let's recognize two that are rooted in our own homegrown ladies, Marina Alex and Mega, sorry, not in the clear vision here, game. And then the LPGA Amateurs, the coastal New Jersey begins writing its own chapter, a history of women's golf. And as you can see, what we have here in the background, a lot of the women I just mentioned are shown here for us. Now, it's some 30 years ago, Nancy Oliver's vision connected thousands of women across the US and beyond to learn, to play, to enjoy golf for business and fun. She was the original founder of the Executive Women's Golf Association. And over the course of 30 years, it grew to be the biggest. Let's see. So now we're part of the LPGA Amateurs. And the mission is to provide women with as much opportunity to participate, organize learning and playing in competitive events, whether you're beginner or experienced. And throughout the LPGA Foundation, Women's Network, and the LPGA Amateur Association, we've created seamless transition for women looking to go from the aspiring player or the recreational golfer to serve in a positive change with this game. The mission is to provide all women as many opportunities to participate in organized learning and want to become experienced lifetime golfers. And I think you're
Yes,
next.
that would be me. I may ask that somebody mute because we're getting, I don't know if you're hearing some of that
I am
background
too.
noise. So just if we could be mindful of that, ladies. So it was only a few years ago that uniting the women of Monmouth and Ocean County through the sport of golf was a dream. And this vision was to be a welcoming community that enriches and empowers women through the sport of golf. Two women, both present right now, myself, Ann Mackey, and Judy Chevalier, I'm trying to pronounce it her way, explored the interest and possibility of such a collaboration. The mission, be visible, be accessible, be charitable. And women were invited to play with other women on a regularly scheduled basis. And the core impetus was to have fun and grow confidence. They would strengthen their alliances into friendships by meeting after the round for a bite, beverage, and definitely laughs. Then the world pivoted. A pandemic ensued. Our response? Pop-up golf. By securing precious tea times, we ladies were able to openly invite others to play golf with us, the only outdoor activity deemed safe at the time. And women golfers of the community began to witness the power of women working together.
Mhm.
In January 2021, the LPGA Amateurs Coastal NJ announced its official formation and welcomed participation. The chapter surpassed its goal of 50 members by more than 100%. A few founding members, Alice Anselmo, Karen Cantor, Judy Chevalier, and Ann Mackey, took on leadership roles to help create and develop a structured women's network of golfers in the region with the support of the national group LPGA. However, more effort was definitely needed to organize and communicate with the membership. So this is the time for shout outs to Lara Burke, Arlene Rodriguez, Robbie Cohen, Susan Murphy, Liz Dickerson, Sandy Robertson, and Gabrielle Salemi for their vital contributions.
There we all are, ladies. And trust me, this is all volunteer. If we're not volunteering, the joy that we are able to partake in with golf just doesn't happen here. Our recent membership report shows we comprise of almost 200 members now, several of whom are in other multi-chapters. In addition to the national benefits, we offer educational clinics, 10 leagues, monthly golf events, fundraisers for charities, charitable causes. This year we did 2 and raised over $3,000 to give to charity, which was great. We have the GIN, which is your handicap system that we can use to register and renew. And we also have competitive interests in activities. This could not happen without vitally involved participation of Laura Tarlow. She does the virtual winter league. We had Robbie Cohen, who did for fun for the beginners. And we're getting more and more women that have not played golf that are becoming a part of it because of the for fun. We've got Ann Mackey, who handles the Tuesday 18-hole 2-putt league. We've got Judy Chevalier, does Tuesdays in the park. We got Karen Cantor and Jill Weedman, who does the Wednesday, will be doing the new Wednesday Pebble Creek League. And Mackey will be acting Wednesdays for the Spring Meadow League. We've got Gabrielle Salemi, who will be doing the Thursday Eagle Ridge League. We have Joanna Castellano, who will be doing the Thursday Travel League, which again is 18 holes. And we have Judy once again doing the Thursday Shark River League. Excuse me.
Okay, Alice, I'm just going to back it up a slide. I would like to just give everybody a chance to see who are some of the leading ladies. We are a not-for-profit volunteer-run organization, and the strength and success of this segment of the women's golf is dependent on the commitment of this team. And I think that I'd like to honor, and recognize that yes, while Judy was so instrumental in helping me get the background stuff in place, and she wanted to hide below the radar, but I'm not letting her get away with it at this point. We need to know that she's really been a vital part there, and she is doing wonders with our as our league chair and really helping us grow with the membership to provide golf opportunities for all abilities and times and locations. Karen Cantor, if you haven't been accosted by her in the parking lot yet, she is our marketing chair, and I chose this image because this is Karen coming to tell you about us. Certainly Alice, who loves handling the money and is probably counting it as as she's sitting there now. Janet Shambaugh, whom really helped us start putting together an organizational system for our filing. And we all know the value of people who keep us on track and organized is priceless, as well as Laura Tarlow coming in as a new inductee to us and really helping us to take the next step. Deb Preston, who has also taken the baton on to lead in events, and this is going to be a plug for the upcoming Tee Off Social Luncheon on March 25th, where the registration will be opening this weekend. Kathy Cox probably will be giving you a follow-up call or email when you join the membership, in addition to the update that you get from National. Thanks to Irene Hunt, who's been helping us actively keep involved with the golf handicap system, otherwise known as GIN, and I refer to lovingly as our golf concierge. So that if you have registered through LPGA Amateurs and you accidentally post a 62 for 18 holes instead of 9, you may want to contact Irene so that she can correct that record. Otherwise, your handicap is going to look quite professional. Julie Tracy, new on board, but has been having a lot of fun with the competition and taking that on and spearheading it. And she gave us that lovely presentation last week. Arlene Rodriguez, who helps us with the social media. So she's monitoring a lot of the Facebook for us. And we all know that you need that talent behind the scenes with Robbie Cohen, who's been really vital in getting us technically up to date and resolving all the hiccups that we seem to figure out how to create along the way. We do have an open spot for somebody who would like to do education, and we welcome you to come if you want to talk about it. It would be helping us with clinics, networking, and maybe connecting to some pros and other opportunities that you may see fit. So moving along, I do want to say that we wouldn't have gotten this far without the right people at the right time. And I'm wondering, is this the right time for you to become a history writing VIP, a vitally involved participant? We have seen how you can be vitally involved. You can do it at the professional level, you can do it at the local level, you can do it at a behind the scenes level. So get to know us, connect with a leader, play with us in a league, in an event, support us in the big picture. Volunteer at a professional event such as the ShopRite Classic. You can marshal a hole, work for an information table, transport players, being a walking scorer, help the TV crews. There are just so many positions that can bring you a whole new perspective on the sport. Support us locally. Volunteer at a chapter event. You can help us with registration, the setup, maybe take the lead in running an event, as well as support us in a league. You can co-coordinate, you can coordinate one day, you can help out a little bit along the way in shadow. Support us in a committee, work with a team, that helps roll out the activities and planning that we do to make our chapter great. And of course, become a leader. Alice, I'll hand it to you.
Very good. So where will we leave our legacy? We have put together an exciting calendar for 2023. You will find the activities listed on our website. So ladies, make sure you've got this so you know where to go in and get answers if somebody's not immediately around. It's www.lpgaamateurs with an S, AMATEURS coastal, COASTAL, NJ.com. Doesn't matter, I think the capital or small. There's also social, that's our social media where you can go in and see what's going on. Visit our website regularly, ladies, for the information and updates. Explore all that we do. How and where will you leave your legacy? And as you can see on the screen right now, we've got all kinds of social events and leagues and instruction and charity events and weekend events that you can become involved with and help to grow this chapter and make it one of the best ones in the group or in the organization. Ian?
So, as we see, women of all ages participating in varying degrees from different backgrounds have brought us here. We are the grassroots that supports and strengthens women's golf. There are ways to make ourselves visible, accessible, and charitable. How do we do that? Participating in the sport, attending tour events, getting young people involved, watching televised women's golf, spending money on women's golf clothing, equipment, lessons, and more. The more we support the women's golf industry, the more we strengthen and advance our place in history, past, present, and future. And by participating in these activities, through us, you earn rewards points at our chapter level. And more information will be available in our upcoming chapter handbook, which will be available at the tee-off, and we will be posting that information on the webpage. The rewards points accumulate for the calendar year, and at the end of the year, you will be rewarded with VIP dollars. So because your involvement is vital. So become a VIP. Participate, you earn rewards credits. Ask any of our committee leaders for areas where you can share your time, talents, and connections. Look for volunteer postings throughout the season. Bring us your ideas. Today is the day to write your own history. Make it great. Because when women work together, great things happen. Thank you. Now I see we have some questions in the chat, and I think we can address those. Yes?
I don't know if there's too many questions, Anne. I think the chat is just some comments from throughout.
Oh,
We can
okay.
open it now. Did anybody have any questions for Anne and Alice on VIPs?
Does anybody want to be a VIP?
Well, I'm just going to make a further comment on what Ann said about VIPs. It is the most essential part of making this organization something special. Ann doesn't get paid a salary being the president and working 7 days a week to get this chapter running. Alice doesn't get paid a salary like I used to in my old job to be the financial person. But all the volunteering we've done, we are one of the first and only chapters that has done this so far, is develop this VIP, where we are taking some of the profits we have and giving it back to you to say thank you. So when you register or you play an event, you're kind of getting a little of your money back and the growth from the chapter so that everybody gets a reward. So you are kind of getting paid for being a nice person to help out. So think about that. No one else, none of the other chapters are doing that right now. Only us.
Alice, do you
You know,
have, sorry, go ahead, Ann.
I was going to say, I look at it as if you invest in us, it pays dividends. If you get
Perfect.
rewarded.
Perfect.
You get rewarded in a lot of ways. And, one of them is with the rewards points, but I think that the rewards sometimes are much greater than anything financial,
Absolutely.
because as you connect and see the importance of all of this, I think you begin to understand that there's really a different calling for it. And that's what we hope to do, is really bring together the community and strengthen us. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Julie, I cut you off.
No, I feel guilty. I was going to go the other way. I was going to say, Alice, do you by any chance have the number or the amount that we gave back to membership last year?
It looks like right now, if everybody submits their collect, it's going to be over $3,000 we've given back to the members. That's a
And
nice number.
Yeah, I can express personally that it was unexpected last year and just speaks to some of the overall principles that our chapter has, or I have found that we have in our mission in general, which is to continue playing together and finding those opportunities, and getting that back helps. So,
Mhm.
Alice, and I want to say thank you as somebody who is new to the game and maybe jumped in too fast sometimes. Thank you for setting it up. Thanks for providing the opportunity to have this place to connect. So what you guys pulled together is amazing. This little education series itself, a great example. So virtual
Mhm.
round of applause, and thank you both for all of that.
Ladies, any other questions or thoughts or ideas that you'd like to share?
Well, it's probably the newest volunteer along with Julie. It's been really rewarding and enriching, and getting to know some strong, empowered females on a different level, without having kind of the work agenda that we used to all have, carry forward with us. And the connections have just been phenomenal and have been,
Oh.
Very helpful. I mean, Alice, I did a renovation. Thank you to you. And it's just, it's the connections that are just so wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm. And you know what, ladies, the volunteer and having funds, maybe not all of it will be just for the chapter. But like I said, in that example I gave, the person I took out onto the fairway to the driving range, she joined the group as a result of it. So we've added to our growth. And to watch the smile on her face when she clobbers the ball now, she was actually almost out driving me. I'm thinking, what did I do? But that's the fun of this. Women helping women grow emotionally, mentally, sharing ideas, whether it's golf or other things. That's what this is all about.
Problem.
Thank you. So yeah, it goes full circle, right? The social, the physical, the networking, business, and experiential rewards that come from the sport. We just keep trying to find ways to connect and evolve it. And I thank all of you for even participating tonight and having an interest. And we're definitely welcoming you to play with us. Even if you want to be a passive kind of member who's involved in the sport, that's fine. We're happy you're here, and we're looking forward to a really great year, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the tee off.
Please make
everybody.
sure you sign up for the tee off, everybody, for the 25th. Have a great evening.
Absolutely. I can't wait
Thank
for the
you.
TO.
Mm-hmm.